Tech Teachers, it's Taisha.
And Candice.
Welcome to T3OT, where we talk tech tips, tools, and strategies for your classroom.
We work overtime so you don't have to. Welcome, and let's get started.
Hello,
Hi.
and welcome to T3OT episode 3. This is that time I forgot about Nearpod. We are going to be talking about Nearpod today. We're going to be covering this amazing resource. We've been sharing this resource in our district trainings last month, and we've both been in classrooms where teachers have been using it, and it's just been so fun. It's such an awesome resource that we get to share.
Yeah, so during this podcast, we're going to be reminding you of some ways to use it in your classrooms and talk about some of the things that are a little more of a hidden gem type. So don't sleep on this program because there's a lot it can do for you and for your students. So let's get into it.
Yes. So we're just going to share why we think it's so great, and then we're going to go into some of our top 5 favorite resources or part of Nearpod. Nearpod is a lesson platform tool that our district has paid licenses to. We'll talk more about that later.
Yes.
Then they allow teachers to create interactive lessons with built-in features that are already in Nearpod. They keep students engaged. It collects real-time data, and it's all during the learning process. It could also be used for review. It could be for just a student, self-review, or whole class. It's probably my favorite all-time resource. I've told people in the past, if they took everything else away from me and they only let me pick one resource, I would pick Nearpod, even over Google, which I am a Google lover. It just has everything that you could ever imagine, and it just keeps getting better, which every year I think, okay, there's nothing else it can do, and then they always continue to add to it.
Yeah.
So
right.
There's just so many ways to keep them engaged and to assess and get real-time feedback on their learning in the moment. So you know what direction to take as you're teaching. You know if you need to review. You know if you can move on. I love the library, which is pretty much unlimited.
Yes, it's great.
Of already created lessons and activities for you to either use as is, or you can make a copy of it and then modify it to exactly what you need. It's just so perfect. A way to be able to make it your own.
Yes. And I want to echo literally everything that she said. I love that it just keeps your kids engaged and actively learning. When I use this in my classrooms, there's always a handful of kids that you were always wondering, are they actually learning something, or are they just writing things down or clicking through? But Nearpod's a great way to make sure everyone's engaged, everyone's learning. And if you're not sure, you can always go back and check that real-time data as they go. And you can, say, okay, we need to go back and revisit this concept, or go back and talk about this part of our lesson, because everything is, again, right there in that lesson for you. I love that you can add things as you go. So maybe if you do see that you need to add a little bit more instruction with one part, you can always add another multiple choice question, or add a time to climb game, or add something to just continue to go through what you're talking about and really make sure that everyone gets it and it's hitting home for everyone. I love that. I just love that you can go through and just make sure that you can teach, reteach, and get that real-time data, kind of like what Taisha said, because you can go back and see student scores, student results. You can see basically how engaged they were also. So it really is, again, just echoing everything she said, just kind of like that one-stop shop for a great, engaging, meaningful lesson.
Yes, I had forgotten that too. There's just so much to it. I forgot you can plan a lesson, but you never know what direction it's going to take. And so then if maybe they need a little background knowledge on something that you didn't think they needed on the fly, you can literally add in a website or a video, and in your already created lesson, you can, just add to it. It's just so great.
Right. And students have reactions too, where they can raise their hand or say, I need you to slow down. Students can automatically give you that feedback without ever having to pause, the class and say, okay, I need help, Mrs. Bean, or whatever. They can just click the little button, react to it, and then give you that feedback right there too. It's great.
Oh yeah, and we didn't even talk. It also has the built-in notes feature that students can take. So many good things. So much. Okay, so we're gonna take a quick break before we go into some features, and we want to do a T3 toast. Cheers. Cheers. I forgot to take a drink.
You have to.
Yum. I've been getting better at making my own coffee, just so everyone knows.
There you
this is
go.
my own special blend of mostly not coffee, but it's really good.
Well, I watched this over the weekend and apparently didn't rinse it very good because it tastes like dish soap. So this is dish soap water today.
Well, you're going to clean out your system. Oh, my.
Oh, gosh.
Okay. So our toast is going to be to our E-Mints vets.
Woohoo!
Last month, we got to have, we had a lunch and learn for vets and any potential future E-Mints participants to come and see what and learn what it's about. That was so fun. And then after that, we had just a vet reunion session where it was so laid back, so chill, which that's what I wanted. I wanted everyone to just kind of come and get to, reunite with each other and have, fun conversations, but then also like catch up on anything maybe they have not been a part of because, once you're out of training, then it's like, it moves so fast and so quickly. Then you're like, I've only been out a year, but I didn't realize even this existed. So that was kind of neat to just kind of add any new resources that they might not have heard about or features of resources that they didn't know were there. So that was so fun. So awesome. Fun. Great turnout. I cannot wait to do it again next year and see everybody again. And who knows what will be new by next year too.
Could be everything.
Okay. So now we are going to talk about maybe you are a teacher that uses Nearpod and maybe you just don't know what all new features or added in features or even ways that you can use the features of Nearpod in a different way. So we're going to talk about 5 features that teachers should be using if they are not already. The first one is the Collaborate board. And this is like a simplified Padlet, which we talk about in our training. I'm sure you are also familiar with Padlet. It's a quick way to get feedback or a prompt response. They have an image option. There is a limited character count. So then, it's just a quick response or way to share their questions or learning on a shared board. I do love that there's the teacher approval option, just like Padlet has, so it doesn't just immediately go live on the board. Teachers would have to approve it, and then everyone would be able to see it. It's just a great way to get feedback as a whole in one spot. And then it's a really good starter for a discussion. So you're like, oh, you think this and you think this. And then you can have that conversation with your class too. And the cool thing with Nearpod is Padlet, for the free version, you are only limited to 3 walls. Whereas in the Collaborate board in Nearpod, you have no limit to how many walls you can create.
We love that.
So if you wanted to use it just for the Collaborate board, you wouldn't even have to implement it into a lesson. You could just open the Nearpod with the Collaborate board, and then they can add their responses and pictures and all of that. So
I love that feature. It's so good.
So good.
The second one we'll talk about are the draw it and the drag and drop options. I love the draw it option. I think that's probably my favorite one. I used to teach science, so we used to have to talk about data all the time, and we had to like review experiments and things that we did. So the draw it one was always really fun for kids to, show what they've learned in a more, I guess, with a qualitative way where they're drawing it. You can upload a background for them to actually draw or annotate on, which is fantastic. So if you wanted, students to represent, you could like show them a graduated cylinder and have them mark the graduated cylinder where they, got the results to, or make sure that they were reading the cylinder the right way. You can, with the draw it feature, you can also draw shapes. There's some pre-made shapes in there that you can use. Very basic. I think there's only 4 or 5 that you're able to have, but it would be a great starting point for what you need your kids to draw. With the drag and drop options, kind of a similar way, you can, again, create the background and then create the prompts for students to actually drag and put in the right place. I just saw a really awesome one in a high school classroom where they were sorting parallelograms and non-parallelograms, and the teacher had created the graphics for them to use for the actual shapes. And they had to drag and drop the them into the right category. So it's a really great feature, really simple to create too. So don't think that, we're showing these options with, the intent that you're going to have to take a lot of time. It's very easy for teachers to create, and it's really meaningful for your kids. So I love both of those features also.
Yes. I think too, with the new drag and drop, it has already some templates in there for your background, like a T-chart or 3 columns and stuff like that. So you wouldn't even have to create that. You could just add your headings.
That's great.
And perfect. That's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Okay. So another one we're going to talk about are the open-ended questions, which these are one of the original actually question types when they created Nearpod. But they have added features to them, which makes them even better.
Yes.
So obviously it's going to keep them actively engaged. You can be teaching and then ask them an open-ended question, and then they would have to think about their answer instead of just, mark a multiple choice box or whatever. It's a easy way to get a quick assessment. It does have the enable student audio recordings feature for their response, which I'll talk a little bit more about later, but that is a brand new feature for that type of question and also some other types of questions. That is like a game changer.
So
it's
cool.
such a good feature.
I love it.
But that would also be great for ELLs or students that, might have trouble typing and need more of an audio response instead of a written response. If you're really wanting to get, are they learning? Are they understanding the content?
Right.
So another awesome question type and resource you could use within Nearpod.
Yeah, I love that one too. The next one is interactive video. So kind of similar to a Google slide where you can embed a video, but also kind of tying in some concepts from Edpuzzle, where Edpuzzle allows you to kind of pause the video, add a question so students can do a little quick check. Nearpod has interactive video components like that embedded into the tool. So you can upload your own video or find one on YouTube, and then you get to choose where you want those quick checks to be. So if you want them to answer a question after 30 seconds, or if you want them to answer something at the end, you can add those quick checks throughout and allow kids not just to watch the video, but to also learn something, because they have to answer that question before the video can move on. And just like any other video with Nearpod, you can either do where the teacher plays it, if you're doing the teacher-based lesson where everyone's on the same page at the same time, or you can have the student view where every student has it on their own screen, watching it at their own pace, answering the questions at their own pace. But again, just making sure everybody is getting that information and having that same quick check just at the pace that they would need it to do. They're not just mindlessly watching the video, they're actually engaging with it and making sure that they're getting something from it. It's a great tool.
Yes, I love that one. Okay, and then the last one is time to climb. So this is the game element, which all kids love, incorporating a game into any kind of activity or lesson. The cool thing is you can quickly convert an already created quiz. So maybe you already have created a multiple choice type of activity within your Nearpod, and then you can go ahead and convert that to a time to climb.
Right.
So they could do the quiz, but then maybe get a review at the end with the time to climb gamification aspect of it. There's several options at the start just to make it more fun, like where do you want to be, like what's your location. You can also you can, what am I trying to say? When you mix up the answers.
Randomize.
Yes. Thank you.
It's a Monday.
It is definitely a Monday. So you can randomize the answers. So if they're sitting next to each other, then they're not all going to be in the same order.
Right.
And the kids just love picking their characters at the beginning.
There's some cute ones.
They are super cute, and they just think that's the most amazing thing ever. So give them 30 seconds to pick their little avatar, little character, and they will think it's the best thing ever.
Yes.
Which I also will say, it does create a report, which all of these actually create a report.
Yes.
And so you do get that real time feedback immediately, but it also creates a report. So if you want to go back and take a grade on it, or to look at the data, you can take it to your data chats, or anything that you are running, tracking for a student, you can also take some of that, because it runs a report and over all of the question types. So the video, the multiple choice, the draw, you will have those. You could have the images of, if they did, the drag and drop correctly. So everything that they do in Nearpod, it also creates a report that gives you that data and that feedback to be able to use for further instruction, or if you needed it to go to like data chats or a meeting.
Yeah.
It's
so much
awesome.
fun.
So good.
Yes. So keep thinking of ways you can use Nearpod, because this is one that like Taisha said, it's just going to keep getting better and better. Our second T3 toast today.
Cheers.
I'm not going to drink my dish soap water this time. I apologize. I will let you drink it by yourself. Is another it's another Nearpod tool that includes AI. Because whenever you first log onto Nearpod, you're going to be presented with your homepage where you have all of your lessons that you've created or your folders and things. But there's also a blue, box that pops up at the top that asks you how you want to start with Nearpod that day. They do have an AI create feature where you can click in that blue box and you can have them build a lesson for you just by entering a prompt with your question or with your topic ideas, and then you can add content standards, you can add grade level to really specify what exactly it is that you're looking for with the AI tool to create for you. So with that, you can create lessons where you're going to include, again, topic, grade level, standards, and you'll be provided with a complete lesson that includes slides, activities, gamified elements, any assessments maybe that you wanted to include, which is a huge time saver, because I think when you first log onto Nearpod, if you're not familiar with it, it can be really daunting because it's just another platform for you to learn. It's very similar to all of the others where you have, creating slides and things, but that extra piece of adding those elements can be just a little bit daunting at first. So this kind of takes away some of that stress. And then one of the other features of that AI Create is it also will generate questions for you. So if you're in the lesson, you're building it, but you're not sure what direction you want the next slide to go or the next interactive activity to go, you can have it create questions for you. You can plug in your topic and you'll be given multiple choice questions, given ideas for bell ringers, exit ticket. You can add those questions to the time to climb games or to a multiple choice quiz. Again, all with just a few clicks of your fingers as you're typing things in. And the cool thing about that, if you do use that AI Create feature, it gives you the opportunity to review and make those changes before you actually teach it. So just like any other Nearpod lesson, you can make those edits if it's your copy, and then you can present it when you're ready to do so. So really awesome time saver, which AI just keeps making things easier and easier for us.
Yes.
It's great.
Awesome. Great thought partner.
Yes.
Okay, so just kind of our last thing is our takeaways with Nearpod. I just love how easily Nearpod allows teachers to differentiate their learning. Not only does it have several options when you're facilitating the learning, and it supports multiple learning styles, right. But you can also easily make a copy of your lesson and then make those modifications and then select which students you want to go through, Nearpod lesson A and then Nearpod lesson B. They're getting the same content, they're going through the same activities, but one might have modifications that are needed for a student or a specific group of students that kind of, meets their needs. Right. And so it's not just a blanket lesson for everybody that gets the same thing. You can make a copy and then meet those specific needs of those students while they're still getting to do the exact same thing that their friends are doing in class. So very subtle. I was working with some teachers last week as they were implementing Nearpod, and I just wanted to reiterate this new little but mighty feature that they have just added, which is that enables student audio responses. That's a game changer. So that is such a good feature for students that aren't able to type out or write out their thoughts. Not only is it a time saver sometimes, especially for those little ones, but also just giving them the opportunity to share what they're thinking, but not having to write it and then maybe not get all of their thinking and their learning out. So I just feel like that was such a huge addition for this platform, because that, again, it encompasses things that all students might need or help out, other students to where maybe they would not feel as comfortable responding in a big whole group, but then they can respond with audio on their own. Again, and you would get those answers in your report that you run. So that is perfect. So thank you, Nearpod, for continuing to add these outstanding options that just make it better and better, and that help teachers teach kids better.
Yes, love that. Again, echoing everything Taisha said. I love that it doesn't allow kids just to engage, but it allows them to it encourages them to engage. I mean, they can engage, but they want to engage because it's something that's fun. It's something that's different than just, the regular old lesson that maybe they're used to. Students are going to look forward to lessons in Nearpod, I believe. And I think they're going to, it's going to take learning from something that they have to do to something that they want to do, because now they're answering things in a different way. They're learning it in a different way, and it's more engaging for them. So again, just echoing everything Taisha said, but I think it's just more fun too. So I think that's important to make your learning engaging for your kids, and to make it fun for them, because they are still kids at the end of the day. So I love it. It's great.
Yes.
Thank you, Nearpod.
Yes. We love you.
Yes.
Okay. Last little shout out. We want to give props to Rebecca Jones and Sean Harrison, both at the high school, and also the 6th grade math teachers. You guys were the highest usage for our district the last 3 months on Nearpod. So you guys are doing amazing. You're using Nearpod. I'm sure you're doing wonderful things with Nearpod in your classrooms. So if you want to share with us some things that you're doing, we'd love to share that out with other teachers too. But awesome job for implementing that into your classrooms and your lessons. Just a way to keep your lessons versatile and to just be utilizing what our district pays for in a good way. Like if we don't use it, then they're obviously not going to continue to pay for it. So we want teachers to just grab a hold of this resource and run with it, so that our district realizes, oh wow, this is a great tool. They're using this. They are doing great things with it. So keep it up. Thank you.
Do. Well, that is all that we have for you guys today. So thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, we do have paid licenses for Nearpod. So if you're watching this podcast, or maybe you missed out in training and you want access to that, reach out to either Taisha or I, and we'll make sure we get that information to you so you can access the district license and start making your Nearpod lessons today. So
yes, we will get you hooked up.
Yes, thank you for joining us today, and be on the lookout for episode 4 coming soon. Yay, bye. Thanks for tuning in to T3OT today.
We hope you grabbed some tech tips you can take back to your classroom.
See you next time.
And remember, it's not just about the tool, it's about the task.